Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Raja. This is Michael. I'm the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at my 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And today, my TOEFL IBT pronunciation specialist will listen to your pronunciation pretest for evaluation purposes, okay? Now let's get to your question. You say, I was watching a link from your website on phonetics. It has some letter sounds mentioned as voiceless and voiced. What are these and how do they differ in pronunciation? Good question. And you also want to go to, if you look at one of my earlier lessons on consonants, I will also tell you in more detail which consonants are considered voiced consonants and which ones are considered voiceless consonants. So let me give you an example. Now, in your throat area here, can you see that? This area inside of your throat there are called vocal folds. Now, sometimes the vocal folds are held loosely together when they vibrate a little bit, in which case these are voiced consonant sounds. In other cases, the vocal folds are not touching and the air passes freely through them. In this case, we call these voiceless consonant sounds. So let me give you two different examples of voiceless and voiced consonants. The P consonant in English is a voiceless consonant. For example, if I say p, p, p. On the other hand, the B consonant sound is a voiced consonant, which means the vocal folds are kind of held loosely together. They're touching, creating a vibrating type sound. B, b, b. So then we have two words. We have pat and we have bat. So pat begins with a P sound, and then bat begins with a B consonant. So that's a voiceless and a voiced consonant. Now let's compare two more. How about the S and the Z consonants? The S. S. How about the name Sue? Sue. So that's the name of a woman in American culture. So I'm using the S at the beginning, a voiceless consonant, to begin that word. Now let's contrast that with the Z. Z. For example, zoo. Zoo. The Z is a voice consonant, right? So the only difference in those pairs of words are the difference between the voiceless and the voiced consonant sound. So you have to be careful, because if you're having trouble pronouncing or understanding the difference between these, it means that you could indeed have some problems in your intelligibility. And you definitely want to make sure that you're more aware of this. Now what's even more interesting is when you put these voiced and voiced consonants at the end of a word. For example, let's take the word lap. L-A-P, and let's take the word lab, which is a shortened form of laboratory, and let's compare the pronunciations, paying particular attention to the vowel sound which precedes the voiceless and the voiced consonant. Lap. Lab. You see that? So which one's longer? The vowel before the voiced consonant will be longer than the vowel before the voiceless consonant. So I hope that gives you some basic idea of some of the differences. So the differences in terms of the pronunciation depends on the vocal folds in your throat. When the vocal folds are not touching and the air passes through there quickly, that's called a voiceless consonant. But when the vocal folds inside the throat are touching a little bit, that creates that vibration, and then we have what's called voiced consonants. Now, to understand more about this, if you go over to my website, let me take you to the lessons in pronunciation, and I will refer you to some specific lessons that will go into this in more detail. But this is important stuff, because once you understand some of these subtle differences, and then you can pronounce certain words differently according to the different consonant sounds that are represented in those words, you do begin to improve your intelligibility and your pronunciation of American English, which is exactly what you want to do, Raj, on the TOEFL IBT. Now, in the second section of my 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT course, we have pronunciation. So what you want to do is I think what's going to be good for you is lesson number 2, Introduction to the Consonant Sounds of American English. Also lesson 3, How to Pronounce the Consonant Sounds of American English. Lesson 4, Practice Exercises for Consonant Sounds of American English. So I think that's going to be very, very important for you. So check out those recommended lessons, and that'll give you some more information and some more practice and help you understand the difference between voiced and voiceless consonant sounds.